Hello. Welcome to Self-Service, Smarter, and Better Backup for SmartCloud Enterprise. I'm Mike Worthington, and I'll be moderating today's webcast. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Douglas Coe, who is the Director of Strategic Alliances at Asigra. Douglas will be starting our conference today, and we'll be speaking with Sergey Perchek, who is the Systems Engineer, and he will be giving a product demonstration. Douglas?
Thanks, Mike. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're calling from. Welcome again to today's webinar. Again, as Mike mentioned, we'll be talking about smarter self-service backup on IBM SmartCloud Enterprise and how that could simplify your cloud backup environment. As Mike mentioned, I'm Doug Coe. I'm the Director of Strategic Alliances at Asigra. I've been working in the cloud field for over 10 years with multiple focused experience in around cloud storage and cloud backup. Really, my role and job here at Asigra is really focused about building great solutions with great partners such as IBM, and I think that's what we've done today is really work very closely with IBM to integrate our Asigra cloud backup software into IBM SmartCloud Enterprise. Sergey, do you want to do a quick intro of yourself as well?
Well, no problem. It's very short. So I working as a system engineer for Asigra for a few years. It's about 3 years, and I also have the previous experience with the backup, with the storage, with the general integration, benchmarking, and this kind of stuff for over 15 years. And my primary focus at Asigra to assist with the partnership with the creating and testing different configuration for presenting our product and so on. That's it.
Excellent. Thanks, Sergey. So just a quick agenda and housekeeping items here. So we really want to focus today on some of the key questions and challenges that we've heard from customers and partners around cloud backup. We're going to talk a little bit about the overall evolution of backup itself and really how we are today and how we've gotten to the cloud and how things have changed, why cloud backup matters, what is Asigra cloud backup software and how do we work, and really Sergey is going to run you through a demo at the end on a few, I think, pretty cool use cases. One is running Asigra cloud backup on IBM SmartCloud to back up your SmartCloud servers and instances. The other is backing up data from outside of SmartCloud into SmartCloud. Okay, so before I jump into some of the meat of the presentation here, I want to run a quick poll question with the audience here. So the first question I have, and I'm just going to put this up, is how are you backing up your SmartCloud Enterprise server instances today? So please feel free to start voting on the poll here, and we'll let some of the results come in. But the options, as you can see on your screen, are really: 1, are you using the built-in image capture function within SmartCloud? 2, are you using third-party backup software? 3, are you using cloud or object storage? 2, are you not backing up anything at all? Or 5, are you not yet using SmartCloud Enterprise? So I'll let a few more people start inputting their input here. I'll give it another few seconds. Okay. All right. So I'm just looking at the results that are showing up. So it looks like the most common response is many people are still evaluating SmartCloud and are not using SmartCloud yet, and they're not backing up at all. So those seems to be the most common. So I think again, thank you everybody for participating in the poll. And I think what we're going to do today is really talk about some of the benefits around backup and around SmartCloud Enterprise. So let's get into details around Asigra. So who is Asigra? You guys may be asking. It's consumers and enterprises. We've been in the business for over 25 years. We've really been helping people back up before the cloud was even called the cloud. 20 years ago, people were basically backing up data using our software over dial-up modems. We're recognized by a lot of leading industry analysts, publications, and journalists such as Gartner or Forrester, as well as channel publications such as CRN or Business Solutions. Asigra has been around for a long time, so we have over 550,000 end customers that are using our software through service providers and through other means to back up their data. So, are you ready for the cloud? I think a lot of you guys are evaluating SmartCloud Enterprise based on the poll here. So, the questions might come to you. You've probably asked yourself, what are the benefits of the cloud? What are the benefits specifically around backup? Well, some of the common analysts and research that we've seen here is, for example, the cost of downtime. Cost of downtime is on average about $131,000 per hour for many enterprises. But in the course of using the cloud versus a traditional on-premise environment, we actually see close to four times improvement in terms of your downtime. So many people have reported that using a cloud service, they really only have about 2.1 hours of downtime, while when they're not using cloud, they have over 8 hours of downtime. So I think in today's competitive environment, and needing to differentiate your IT and your service offerings, the cloud is really not about whether you should do it or why you should do it, but it's really about when and how. So when we talk about backup and how it relates to the cloud, it really shows up as top of mind when we've done some research, and this is based on a Gartner report from 2011. And it really talks about what type of cloud computing projects is your organization considering for the cloud. And as you can see, backup and disaster recovery really show up near the top of the list there, right behind software as a service or software applications. And I think this is very key. And one of the reasons why we believe this is the case is because backup itself, when you run it in the cloud, is very non-disruptive. It really allows you to transfer whatever you're doing today, whether it be backup to tapes or backup to your disk appliances on site, and transition that to the cloud without any disruptions to your day-to-day processes, which is, again, a little bit different than if you were trying to move a production database into the cloud. Moving backup into the cloud is probably one of the first things you can do that's, again, non-disruptive for your organization. Okay, so what are some of the common cloud backup questions that come up when we talk about cloud backup? I think most of these questions here are very similar to traditional backup, and what you're doing today is how do I meet my backup windows, because I have more and more data and it takes longer and longer to back up my data. How is that going to change if I move to the cloud? How to avoid downtime during backups. That's an issue today. People who are using SmartCloud today have to basically take their servers down to use some of the built-in backup functions, which again, that's downtime, and that's really unacceptable if you're trying to run your production environments within SmartCloud. How do I minimize my performance impacts? Again, backup could potentially slow down your servers and your instances. How do I avoid that? Can I back up on-premise servers into the cloud? That's the use case we're talking about, taking what you're running in your data center and backing up the data in the cloud. Can you do that? How do you do that? Can I back up enterprise applications? We're here with IBM, so IBM has many flavors such as DB2 or Lotus, or even non-IBM applications such as Oracle or SQL Server or Exchange. How do you back those up? What about security? That's always a common question within the cloud. Can I use cloud storage? These are for people who have done some research around the cloud. Can you leverage cloud storage for backup? Or do I do snapshots or file backups? Or, of course, the ultimate question is cloud backup more cost effective? I wanted to share with you guys a quick little story, because I think stories really help level set and frame some of the problems that we're discussing here. So, this story really entails a piper and an archer that's stranded on a deserted island. So, in this case, the piper goes and talks to the archer and says, "By golly, Archer, how did we end up in this predicament?" The archer replies, "Well, the king abolished me to this island as my lethal shot killed one of his prize pheasants." The piper replies, "Well, that is unfortunate. We were en route to Monaco for a private concert with the prince when our Gulfstream went down into the water. I guess I should be happy to be alive." The archer replies and says, "Well, you won't be alive for long if we don't find some food to eat." The piper smirks and says, "Well, the melodies I play on my pipe can charm a rabbit from its hole and a bird from its nest. I will charm the fish in the sea to come to our feet." And the piper starts playing his pipe. The archer replies and says, "You are a fool, my dear piper. Only my precision bow and arrow shot that got me here and banished me can save us. I will shoot and spear the fish in the sea upon sight." And then the archer takes aim into the sea. Well, this continues for days as the piper and archer keep searching for fish, but really there's no fish in sight, and they're starting to get very, very hungry. So, after a few days, along comes a fisherman in a boat. And then he says, "Oh, you're all not from here, huh?" as he pulls a net full of fish into his boat. The piper replies, "By golly, what a bountiful catch you have there." And the archer says, "My dear friend, can you spare 2 hungry men a fish?" The fisherman replies and says, "No, I cannot. But if you put down your bows and your pipes, you can join me on my boat." And the piper, with a confused look, says, "Oh, but why? We quite like it here on this tropical island. All we need is some food." And the fisherman finally says, "Well, you know what they say. You give a man a fish and they eat for a day. But if you teach a man a fish, they can only eat for a lifetime." So, what's the moral of the story? I think the last moral there you heard from the fisherman, everybody has heard of that. But really, I think the bigger moral of this story is, there are many ways to do things, and usually there's a better way than what you know of today. And as a piper tries to play music and an archer tries to shoot fish in the sea, you can't really use the same solution for a different problem. And this surely applies to backup as well too, and specifically to cloud backup, as really times have changed, and the way we've done things with backup previously is not the best way to do backup in the cloud. Okay, so let's start talking about the different technologies here. So with agent-based technology, that is really the most traditional way companies and different solutions had delivered backup. And what really agent-based backup is really an agent is a resident piece of software. This is a piece of software that needs to be installed on every single device, server, laptop, or desktop, or machine that requires to be backed up. So this piece of software is basically used to scan and collect data. It really checks the file system, it checks the database, and really collects that data for backup. It runs as a background process, and as a result of this, because of all this background processes and scanning and collecting, it really requires a significant amount of system resources. Now, these system resources, of course, in a virtual environment, can be sucked up pretty quickly because, in VMs you really have your resources capped at a certain amount, and you're really using it to high utilization rates. So if you start running agents on top of that, it's really going to suck into your compute, your storage, as well as your network resources that's required there. Now, on top of this, there's different agents for different OSs. So whether you're running Windows, Linux, or Mac, you're going to require different agents for that. You're going to require different agents for different enterprise applications. So you're going to have a different agent for DB2 versus a different agent for Oracle versus a different agent for Microsoft Exchange, for example. And finally, because it is a separate piece of software, it's really going to be used. It's going to be treated like a piece of system software. It requires updates, for security patches. It requires ongoing maintenance, and in many cases, like software updates, they can be disruptive. So you might require a reboot of your server or your device. So again, you need to schedule maintenance and downtime when you're using agent-based technology. So as a result of this, backup vendors and solution providers start to look at alternatives, especially when we're talking about cloud virtual machines. So the virtualization vendors and backup vendors started working together to deliver what we call virtualized or virtualization image snapshots, or snapshots of virtual machines. Basically, the concept of a snapshot is exactly that. It's a point-in-time capture of an entire virtual machine or virtual disk, that being the disk that's associated with a specific virtual machine. Now, what's good about this is, of course, you're able to capture the entire VM. That includes the operating system. That includes, obviously, your application information, your user data, as well as any other temporary files and state information that's there. So that's great, but in a sense, it's also an all-or-nothing proposition, meaning that because you're capturing everything, you're really limited to recovering the entire virtual machine or nothing at all. So that really gives you limited flexibility in terms of how you may recover individual files. And surprisingly, when we've done some studies, and multiple companies have done studies on this, about 90% of the time, people are not looking to recover an entire virtual machine due to the failure, but they're really looking to recover a single file, whether it be a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation or something from an item from a database. It's really not the entire machine people try to recover. It's really individual files or individual pieces of data. On top of this, virtualization snapshots, because they're reliant on the virtualization layer, they're hypervisor specific, and each vendor, whether it be VMware or Hyper-V or Zen or KVM, requires a different API. And in some cases, and in the case of SmartCloud, this API and these snapshots require the VM to be offline to take the snapshot. So even though you have the flexibility of capturing the entire machine data, you're going to encounter downtime as part of the backup process when you're taking snapshots. Okay. Now, how about cloud storage? Can we use cloud storage for backup? People ask this today, and some of the more progressive-minded people might be looking at cloud storage as an option and trying to understand how it's applicable to backup. So, the concept of cloud storage, and cloud storage itself is an area I've worked in for many years as well, even before it was called cloud storage, is really kind of changing the concept of files to objects. Objects are basically innate pieces of data. Typically, they have a relationship to files, a one-to-one relationship to files, but there's no concept of a file system or concept of different structures that tie into files. They're really kind of innate pieces of data. What they're good for is passive or inactive data. Typically, data that's old or being used for archiving purposes. It's not data that's being updated. It's really data that's completed. So again, you could think about old financial reports or old presentations. They're very good to be used and stored in cloud storage. Databases, not so much, because databases are constantly updated. So that's one of the issues with cloud storage is it's really designed for a very specific use case, and really cloud storage by its name on its own is really equal to storage. And what do we mean by that? Think of cloud storage as just evolution of storage technologies you have today. I mean, you might have heard of direct attached storage or network attached storage or NAS or a storage area network like SAN. Cloud storage is basically just another type of technology that is being used as bulk storage. And as a result of that, just like today for backup, you might be using a SAN or a NAS for disk-to-disk backup. Cloud storage itself can be used as a target or a destination to store your backup data, but it's not necessarily designed to be a backup solution on its own. So again, something to clarify as people look at cloud and different cloud technologies. Cloud storage is great to be used as a destination or a target, but it's not really designed to do backup itself. So let's talk a little bit about agentless technology and how this applies to cloud backup. So agentless is really kind of turning the concept of the agent-based backup on its head and really saying, how can we deliver a solution that is much more low touch, much more non-invasive, and lower maintenance to deliver a much better solution for cloud backup. So the concept of agentless technology is really taking some of the key components, such as the scanning and data collecting, and consolidating that to a single piece of software. So in this case, in traditional agent-based solutions, really, you have agents that are installed on every single server or virtual machine that you're trying to manage. Again, as we talked about, that's many versions and different pieces of agent software that needs to be managed. While in agentless, really it's a single machine or single instance of software that is managing all the backups. Now, it really leverages some of the native APIs to talk to the different servers agentlessly and collect the data and back up the data. But really the main advantage is because you're only managing a single piece of software and a single machine, it's much more low touch. It's also non-disruptive because it does not run on the actual servers themselves, which means, again, any software updates does not require any disruptive reboots of your different systems there. So it's really designed to be low touch, much more low footprint, and again, because it's not installed on the servers, it utilizes less system resources as well, which again, in a virtual environment, becomes more and more important to be effectively using your system resources. Let's talk a little about what is Asigra Cloud Backup. Really, Asigra Cloud Backup is really taking this agentless technology and applying it to the cloud environment. So we have two key components with Asigra Cloud Backup software. One is the DS client. The DS client basically acts as the agentless data collector. As I mentioned, it leverages kind of native operating system or application layer APIs to talk to the application servers to back up data. It also compresses and deduplicates data on the DS client. This is very important because we want to minimize both the storage requirements as well as the network requirements, especially if we're sending data over the cloud or in the internet. Encryption, of course, is also very important, especially if we're sending data over the internet to ensure that all the data is encrypted and secured. And the DS client itself can reside both inside SmartCloud to back up your SmartCloud servers or outside of SmartCloud to back up your servers that are running outside and into SmartCloud. The DS system is the second important piece of the Asigra software. It basically acts as what we call the long-term data vault. It is basically where the backup data goes to live long-term. It is multi-tenanted, so basically what that means is it could support multiple DS clients or multiple customers backing up to the same DS system. It provides what we call recovery and restore assurance, meaning not only are we focused on backing up the data, but we really provide a slew of checks and balances, basically data integrity checks, automated restores within the DS system to really ensure that your data is always recoverable. Because again, if you're backing up the data but you can't get it back or recover it, then really the whole exercise was in futility. The DS system itself can be deployed across multiple different data centers. So you could have it within SmartCloud or outside of SmartCloud. You could have it across multiple data centers for redundancy as well. Okay, so in terms of the backup technology and what type of devices or operating systems or applications we can back up, really, if you could pretty much think of anything under the sun, any device, application, or platform, Asigra probably supports it. So, everything from your traditional data center environment, from your Windows servers, your Linux servers, to Oracle, to DB2, to Lotus, again, to Microsoft Exchange or SQL, some of those core enterprise applications, all the way down to mobile devices such as Android and Apple smartphones and tablets. So really the whole everything under the sun, even IBM iSeries, everything you could think of from within the data center to your mobile workforce, Asigra provides the capabilities to back up from those devices, applications, and OSs. So let's talk about a couple of the use cases quickly, and then we'll move into the demo pretty soon. So the first use case that I alluded to is backing up SmartCloud, and this is the capability of backing up your servers or instances that you're running in SmartCloud and backing them up. So we have basically two flavors of our DS client, or a Windows DS client that is really designed for backing up your Windows VMs, or your Linux DS client that is used to back up your Linux VMs. And basically we leverage either Windows file APIs or VSS, or we're leveraging SSH or NFS by managing the different credentials on those machines and then agentlessly backing that data up. Now again, as I mentioned, as it goes through the DS client, it's going to compress and deduplicate the data to minimize your storage requirements. So again, you might be using, maybe 5 terabytes of storage on SmartCloud, but once it goes through the DS client, it's going to reduce that maybe down to a couple of terabytes or less, and then store that ultimately on the DS system. In this case, this would be backing up SmartCloud into SmartCloud. So your DS system can reside within the same SmartCloud data center, maybe within the same VLAN or same LAN that you're running your SmartCloud instances on. Or it could also be deployed at another SmartCloud data center if you want remote geographic separation or disaster recovery between your backup data and your production data. The second use case that we're going to go into more detail today is backing up into SmartCloud, and this is basically the capabilities of running the DS clients outside of SmartCloud. So the DS client can reside at your own remote office or data center, or maybe a customer of yours that might be again not having any of their data in SmartCloud today or any of their servers in SmartCloud today. The DS client again agentlessly is able to collect data and again compress it and dedupe it, as well as encrypt it before sending the information over the internet into SmartCloud. In this case, this is of course where the DS system resides. So you're taking the data that's from your on-prem data center and backing that up into SmartCloud. You could do this again for your servers, both physical and virtual, and you could do this for your mobile devices as well too, for your mobile workforce. So again, for the laptops or your tablets or smartphones, there will be an app or an onboard application that is able to connect to the DS system that's running in SmartCloud and back the data up from there. So just a quick summary of some of the benefits that we deliver in SmartCloud with Asigra. It enables you to back up your SmartCloud Enterprise servers without any downtime. We believe it's a fast and efficient solution. With some of the optimizations we've done with IBM and some of the validation that we've done. We're also, from a security standpoint, what we call FIPS 140-2. I didn't talk about this in much detail, but really it's a government certified framework by the DoD and NIST, which is the National Institute of Science and Technology. So it's a government certified implementation of encryption and security that we have here with Asigra. You can also back up your on-premise servers and devices into SmartCloud for disaster recovery. We have a very wide support for operating systems and platforms and different devices and applications. As I said, we can back up databases such as DB2 or Oracle and other stateful applications. And because of the agentless technology, we've really designed to be low touch, simple, and easy to manage. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to pass this over to Sergey, who's going to run you a demo for SmartCloud. Both, again, we're going to show you how we create some of the Asigra instances within SmartCloud, backing up your SmartCloud servers within SmartCloud, and backing out outside devices into SmartCloud as well too. Now, again, guys, just a reminder. If you do have any questions today, I've gave you a quick overview. So maybe as we're waiting here, Mike, maybe you could read off maybe one of the questions that have come in so far, and I could answer one of those as we're waiting for Sergey to get to the desktop.
Sure. Okay. So I do have a question here. What level of encryption do you use?
Okay, that's actually a very good question. I know I mentioned just very briefly around the FIPS 140-2. That's a government certified or certification around our security implementation and framework. What that applies to in terms of level encryption is really we have a wide range. You could actually leverage 56-bit encryption all the way up to AES 256-bit encryption. And that's all fine and dandy. Many solutions out there provide encryption, and many also provide 256-bit encryption. The key thing is really around the certification, which I mentioned, which is the 140-2, which is a government-certified certification. And the analogy I would put towards that is that it's kind of like a lock, right? Like you could go to Home Depot and buy a lock and find some screwdrivers and install a new lock, for your front door, and hopefully it works well, and it's a lock that's heavy duty and all that. Or you could call a locksmith that is certified, has their accreditation, has been tested by the government or by their industry association, and says, this guy not only knows how to buy a lock, they're certified to install it, and that when they do implement it, it's going to be secure and done properly. And that's really the difference between Asigra and some other solutions is not really just the level encryption, whether it be 256-bit or whatnot. It's really whether or not the encryption and the security framework has been certified by the government. All right, so it looks like Sergey, we can see your screen here.
That's good. So what we have here, we have already, if you have an account at IBM SmartCloud, this is what you will see. If you don't, you can simply request one, and then you will have the option to create your own environment. I'll show you how to add the backup solution for your existing or for your future virtual machines. So you go to Add Instance, and you need to decide where actually you want to install your Asigra back environment. So, for instance, I'll choose Germany. So, and then you simply you can run this search on backup. So, if we run on backup, let's see what we will have. Okay, so what we have currently on IBM SmartCloud, we have the only one solution is available is Asigra. So we have a few images that we created that you can use. One is for Linux, another one is for Windows, and we also have a full demo environment. If you would like to get a taste of all the Asigra applications, so we created this for you. You can just simply start it, and when the machine will be up and running, you will get all the applications are installed in this virtual machine, so you can try all of them. So when you will choose what you want to use, Linux or Windows, for this particular case, let's choose Linux, and you go next. You choose the name for your instance. Let's call it Asigra demo. You can also choose what will be the resources. You can choose the silver, gold, platinum. It depends how much CPU and memory you will need. So, and of course the price will be a bit different. And then you click next. You actually need to agree with all this stuff. You click submit, and now actually the request is sent to IBM SmartCloud administrator, and your machine will start the provisioning. The first step is requesting, then it will be provisioning. Usually it takes between 20 minutes to maximum a couple of hours, depends where do you want to place your virtual machine, and depends on the load. So just to show you the environment, so we will not wait until the machine will be ready. So we already predefined a few virtual machines. As you can see, I have a Asigra DS system. This is the storage vault. It's located in Markham, Canada. So I have DS client installed. It's in IBM SmartCloud Japan, and also I have the backup source machine. It's also located in Japan, and I have another backup source machine located in Canada. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch. The first machine I'm going to show you is a Asigra DS system located at IBM SmartCloud Canada. So this is a Linux machine, and I'm using VNC to connect to this machine. This is our interface for the storage vault. As you can see, you have multiple customers. You can also have multiple DS clients. So in this particular case, I also have already a few backup sets predefined. One is in Canada, another is in Japan. But of course, you can place all your components at the same location whenever you choose where to install it. So now I'm going to switch to another component that is actually a data collector component. It's DS client. So this is my virtual machine. So I'm simply running a remote desktop to this machine, and I can show you. I have already few predefined backup sets, but I can also show how to create a new one. We have this simple backup set wizard that you can choose what you actually want to backup. For example, Microsoft SQL, Exchange, email messages, and so on. So in this case, let's do something a bit more complicated. Let's try to create a backup set for a machine located in Japan. So let's put the IP of this machine. Okay, so this is my machine. We will go there. You also need to specify, ask for database credentials, unless you have the same user as administrator for both machine and for the database. You provide the credentials, of course, the password, and you can also specify where I can connect from, or you can just simply use none. Now the credentials for the database. Okay, and we are here. So as you can see, we have also two different type of backup set. One is the pipe that actually will start to move the data right away from the source machine and then to the DS client and then to the DS system. Or you can also choose the option for the buffer. If you have, for example, limitation with the connection, the buffer probably will be the best option, that the data will be buffered before it will be backed up. Now you can simply choose the database that you want to back up. You can choose all of them, or you can use just one, as I do in this particular case. You can specify the retention rules, different options for the backups. We have many different options. In most of the cases, the default setting is good enough for any users, but you can also change it. Of course, you can schedule it. For this particular case, we just choose the on-demand option. So we are finished. And we are done. Now we can run the backup, actually. And our system is right now. I also have another example of the backup set. This is just a regular file system backup set. I'll show you. It's located on another machine. So this is also a virtual machine, my target source, and now in this case located in Japan. I have this document that I previously already ran the backup. So I believe many of you can even recognize what it is. So if you'll start to read, it was a bright cold day in April. So this actually it's 1984, the first chapter by George Orwell. So I have this document. Let's modify it. So let's delete some of it, and then let's save it. So the document now I can show you we don't have it, so we deleted it. So if I will go back and I will click on restore. So you can also choose the entire content, or you can also go granular. You can choose the entire document if you want to. Then you can also choose where to restore it. You can choose the original location, or you can choose the new alternate location. So the backup is running, and restore is completed. So if we'll go back and we click, and as you can see, the document was restored completely. So this is what Doug exactly mentioned, that in many cases that you need to restore the one single document. So, and this is a good example. So in this case, what we have both components, the target for the backup and the DS client located in the cloud. You can also have a local DS client installed. For this particular case, for example, I have on my laptop, I have another DS client installed. So I can simply create a new backup set for my laptop. So I can choose my computer, and I can choose also the user to connect. Or if you want to use the same account, you simply click Use DS Client Account, and you have all the options of what you want to backup. For example, document setting. You go next. Again, confirm all the options, and we're good. The new backup set is created. We can also start to run the backup right away. Okay, so it's done. If you want to restore it, we can again choose to restore it. And this is more or less that's it. So it just give you the few examples. Of course, you can do much more using DS Client. You can backup firmware, you can backup Exchange, and so on. And now we have time for a few questions. So if you have any other questions, Doug and me are ready to answer your questions.
Okay? Thank you, Sergey. I actually do have a question here. For Oracle backups, API supported by RMAN is important. Does Asigra provide it?
Yeah, that's a good question. The quick answer is yes. We do support RMAN and SBT, and we're able to do a variety of different backup sets and different scenarios that we could back up from Oracle. Yeah. So, Sergey, anything else you want to add to that? I mean, that's the short answer.
Yeah, the short answer is sometimes the best answer. So that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right, Mike, any other questions?
Sure. How does agentless backup work for databases?
Okay, so that's related to the previous question around Oracle. Oracle being one of the leading enterprise databases out there. So as the previous question or attendee asked, do we support RMAN or SBT? That's really a Oracle specific API basically that is provided for us to do a few things. One is to quiesce and dump the database. Quiesce meaning pausing the database so everything is basically in a known state, and then being able to dump that database. And basically, our capabilities are able to log into whatever server. It could be your Oracle server, it could be another server where the database dump was done, and really collect that database dump and use what we call some of our incremental backup technologies, incremental delta backup technologies to collect any change data or new data and back that up in an agentless fashion. So, that's Oracle. IBM DB2 also provides a different API. I think it's just called the DB2 Backup and Restore API. So does Microsoft. Microsoft provides different mechanisms around VSS or their volume shadow services as well. So each flavor of database has their own APIs, and that's really what we leverage here. There's a few links there. One is around the landing page on IBM or on Asigra that goes over some of the more information around Asigra and our cloud backup technology and how it works specifically on IBM SmartCloud. So you could try that landing page. The second landing page is really probably a more detailed article and presentation on today's webinar, which really dives deeper into the cloud backup technology, the agentless architecture. So if you want to learn more and dig deeper from what you've learned today on the webinar, that's a good article, and that's available on IBM Developer Works. So that's the second link there. And I guess if you want to find out more information about either if you want to back up your SmartCloud servers, on the Asigra landing page, there's information there on the bottom for you to submit a request, as well as if you want to back up your on-premise servers into SmartCloud. And finally, I think the last one, which is pretty cool as well too, if you're a managed service provider or a channel reseller of IBM or other solutions, if you want to become a Asigra partner, that's basically the ability for you to deliver a cloud backup service using Asigra and IBM SmartCloud. So basically creating a new backup service to back up data for your clients, whether it be their on-premise servers and backing that up into SmartCloud, or backing up, you might be managing some customers that are using SmartCloud today and you want to help them back up their servers within SmartCloud. You could contact us through our partnering page. And of course, feel free to contact me as well. My contact information is right there on the bottom, my email and my phone number. Any other questions there I can answer. I think we still have some time for more questions. So I just wanted to get this page up so people can see it on their screen and copy down some of the links and emails there as you're looking for more information. But Mike, are there more questions that were sent in?
Sure, I have another one here. Can we restore backup to different machines located in different data centers, and how soon will the backup be available to restore?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So, you could definitely restore, into different locations. We're actually, today's a very timely day because we actually announced the next release of our software, Asigra Cloud Backup version 12, and we actually have some pretty cool capabilities around restoration and disaster recovery. Some of these capabilities, allow you to basically take information and back that up from one machine and then spin that up or restore it into a different machine in a different data center. So absolutely, that's an option here, and some of the new exciting capabilities that we're bringing out in version 12. Again, if you want more information on that, feel free to just go to our website. We just made that announcement today, so things just seem to coincide very nicely. So there's more information on that. Secondary to that, we also allow you to restore data, from different places as well. So you might be using the DS client to restore a server or a desktop, but we also have capabilities for you to actually, allow people who are mobile to restore through a web portal as well. So we have a web portal that allows you to find your backup data and restore that basically from anywhere, right? So that's a key theme that people want to do is you want to be able to recover very quickly, and also be able to recover data from anywhere into any type of machine or device that they may be using at that particular time.
Okay, great. And I do have another question here. So what about DB2? Is it support basis of ZOS DB2?
That's a good question. I have to check into that. I know we support DB2 on multiple platforms, beyond Linux and whatnot, and iSeries and whatnot. ZOS, that's a good question. You have to probably get back to the attendee that asked that question. Sergey, do you know the answer to that? Do you know if we have DB2 and ZOS supported?
I have to double check. So as far as I know, we do support it on the IX and the iSeries. So I need to check. It's not exactly my focus. So
yeah.
We will check and we will let know. So there's no problem.
Yeah. So that question we would get back to the attendee on that.
Can you share a list of clients using this service?
So sure. What we do have, is we have some of our customer references that are posted on our website. These are both end users, which could be enterprises that are using our service, and they could also be service providers that are basically leveraging both SmartCloud or leveraging data center resources and infrastructure and the Asigra software to deliver cloud backup services. So some of this information is on our website. I think if you go to our website and click on the resource center, you'll see a link for case studies as well that will talk about some of our client references that are doing this. Some of them are been leveraging Asigra for many years.
Okay, great. And I do see one more person is typing now, so a couple more seconds here for that question. And please do not hesitate to ask additional questions. We do have a couple of minutes here, so if you do have any questions, please let us know. And Doug, this is another question. So if someone's doing a remote backup from their data center to SmartCloud, how can they ensure fast data recovery over the internet?
Yeah, no, that's another very good question. And yes, depending on the different configurations we could do, if you are backing up from your a remote data center into SmartCloud, yes, data is being transferred over internet. What you can do, and this is something again that's a configurable option within Asigra, is really configure amount of cache, local cache that you want to store your backup data on. So not only are you pushing data into the cloud or into SmartCloud, but you also have the option to store data locally on the local DS client, potentially, and that will enable you to have your backup data available locally. So that really gives you the flexibility to have a very fast restore over your local area network versus trying to pull the data off from the internet. And you could basically define policies to say, hey, keep my most recent backup or my most 3 recent backups locally, and store that locally on the DS client, and make those much more easy and quick to restore.
Okay, perfect. So Doug, we've reached the end of the hour here. I just wanted to thank you and Sergey for all of your hard work in getting the webinar off the ground, and I want to thank all participants. If there are any additional questions, there will be a follow-up email after the call within 2 to 3 days, and I'll have our contact information there in case there are any additional questions, and you can ask those. Thanks again, and everyone have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.